Scrooge is back and he's brought with him one of his favorite foul friends, and that foul friend is the Ostrich from Joust, this time for the Atari 2600 with basically label/box art that's nearly identical to the Atari 7800 version. Let's go ahead and pop this into my Atari 7800 and see how the 2600 version holds up today. Let's go to the game. Joust is based on the 1982 Williams arcade game and was published by Atari with a copyright date of 1983. It was programmed by Mike Feinstein and Kevin Osborne. Kevin also programmed the excellent 2600 version of Kangaroo, which I reviewed in episode 88, and Mike was one of the programmers of the excellent 2600 port of Phoenix, which I reviewed in episode 163. Joust is a single screen game for 1 or 2 players simultaneously. There are 2 modes of difficulty, easy and skilled. In the easy mode, you only face 1 enemy at a time, the lowly red bounders. In the skilled level, you can also face the more abled gray hunters, the difficult blue shadow lords, and the near invincible pterodactyls. In the game, you use the joystick to control movement when walking and flying, and press the button to flap your wings, trying your best to flap and move your joystick to control your momentum. According to the manual, you have somehow fallen into a bizarre world where knights ride gigantic armored buzzards while you're stuck with a gigantic flying ostrich. The goal of the game is to defend yourself by unseating your opponents in a joust. You can successfully win a joust by being higher than your opponent when you make contact with them. If you are on the losing end, you will lose a life, but if they are on the losing end, they will turn into an egg that, unlike other versions, constantly flies around the screen, never landing or falling into the fire pits. If you collect them in time, you gain points, and defeating all your opponents and collecting their eggs will send you to the next round. However, if you fail to collect them quick enough, they will hatch into another more difficult opponent, so bounder eggs turn into hunters, and hunter eggs turn into shadow lords. After the second wave, the fire pits on the bottom left and right sides are opened. Fall in these and you lose a life. However, unlike other versions of the game, there are no troll hands to reach up and drag you or your opponents into them. If you take too long on a wave, and at the beginning of certain stages, a large pterodactyl will appear. He can be quite the menace. A well-placed hit on his beak can defeat him, but I found this hard to accomplish, with avoidance and completing the wave as quickly as possible the best way to deal with them. The game also contains special waves, which can be recognized by letters that appear in the lower right part of the screen. The S is for the survival or team wave. In one-player games, you get 3,000 bonus points if you survive the wave without losing a life. In 2-player games, both players can get 3,000 bonus points if neither player unseats the other. The G is for the gladiator wave. This is for only 2 players. In this wave, the first player to unseat the other gets 3,000 bonus points. The E is for the egg wave, in which all the opponents start as eggs. And the P is for the pterodactyl wave. In this wave, the pterodactyl shows up right at the beginning for an extra challenge. Point-wise, you get 500 points for unseating a bounder, 750 points for unseating a hunter, and 1,500 points for unseating a shadow lord. You also get 250 points for the first egg you collect, 500 points for the second, 750 points for the third, and 1,000 points for the fourth egg and beyond. You also get 1,000 points for destroying the pterodactyl, 2,000 points for being a backstabber and unseating another player, and 50 points just for dying. Yay! Points for everyone! Graphically speaking, the levels aren't very detailed, but I like the characters, even though each one is just a single color and they flicker during play as part of the programming trick to get more characters on the screen at the same time. I also thought that the sounds were well done for the game, and yes, this is a family-friendly game. On eBay, loose copies go for about $7 to $11. Complete copies were going for $12 to $19, and new copies ranged anywhere from $13 to $30, and as always, those prices include shipping. So what did I think of Joust? Well, despite some of the limitations, I thought this was a solid port for the 2600. Yes, the 7800 has a better version, but the 2600 version does a good job of holding its own, and even though I only play it as a single player, I can imagine it being even better with a second player playing along. So where am I going to rank Joust? Well, I still enjoyed Kangaroo more at 10, but I do like this a little more than Journey Escape at 11, so I'm going to make Joust my new number 11 ranked game for the Atari 2600. Joust is flying fun on the Atari 2600. If you enjoy retro-related videos, would you please click the like and subscribe buttons? You can now support the show through Patreon as well. Just go to patreon.com/NoSwearGamer. Also be sure to check out some of my many other videos covering Atari, Sega, Nintendo, and more. I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Network. You can find more retro podcasts and videos at the Retro VirtualJunkies.com. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of The Notes for Gamer. Take care and watch out for the buzzards.